Hi, I'm Kay, and today I'm going to show you how to make fabric wrapped rope bowls. It's a very simple project, one I think beginner sewers can do, but I also, as an experienced sewer, had a lot of fun learning how to do it and doing it myself. So the first thing we need when we do a rope bowl is the rope. And this rope I got at Ace Hardware, but Walmart has it as well. It is 1/4 inch by 100 feet. And it is a multi-purpose all cotton rope. Many people would use this as a clothesline. Same thing. And when you do that, the first thing you need to do is take it out of its packaging and roll it into a ball. And the reason we do that is so that when we're sewing, it unwinds very nicely and gradually and doesn't have any drag to the sewing machine. Other items that we need, obviously, are needles. I recommend a heavy duty or a jean needle. I recommend that you wind at least 2 bobbins of thread. Binder clips, very small binder clips. And the binder clips are used when we wrap the fabric around the cording. Scotch tape. Scotch tape is used on the end of the rope or cording and is used to keep it from fraying. But it's also used for other purposes, as you'll see as we do the rope bowl. As we start it and finish it off, the Scotch tape helps in giving you a marking and whatnot. It also helps if you run out of cording and we have to join 2 different strands together. It will tape them together. You'll never see it. It won't bother anything, and it will keep it together strong. One of the last things we need, of course, is fabric. I prefer to use brightly colored fabrics. I think they tend to show up better, but obviously the preference is yours. When I do it, the first thing I do is I cut a 10-inch square. I have found in my baskets, the snack size that I make, that a 10-inch square works very well as a nice napkin to line the basket. And to do that, you can either cut 2 and sew them together like a napkin. You can simply finish it with a rolled hem or a decorative stitch using your serger, or maybe just fold over the stitch and use your straight stitch machine. Either way, any way works well for you. The other items that come in handy that you need, obviously, are scissors. I use my cutting mat, my rule, and my rotary cutter. And with that, folks, let's get busy. Let's make a bowl. All right, so to cut the strips out of the fabric, I have the fabric. It's folded in half. And to get a bias strip, which I prefer, as I've stated, we're simply going to fold it into a triangle. That allows us to get the bias strip going like this. You'll notice it gives a little bit of stretch. That's what we want. Line it up for myself. The first strip is only going to be a 1/2 inch because this is folded, and I want to do 1-inch strips to wind around my cording. This one. And after about 5 or 6 cuttings, we should have plenty of strips to do our baskets. So let's get started. Let's sew a basket. So we start the basket off with Scotch tape at the very tip. We give it a pinch and turn, and we start to coil the rope tail in a clockwise fashion. We'll secure the coil after 2 or 3 rounds with 2 pins. The pins will be placed perpendicular to each other. We will sew across the coil with a straight stitch, just off center of each pin. Place the coil under your presser foot and straight stitch across, again just off center of the pin. Give the coil a quarter turn, place it back under the presser foot, just off center of the other pin, and stitch straight across. Clip your threads and remove all pins. We're ready to zigzag the basket base. Place a coil under the presser foot with the coil just off center of the needle and the rope tail to the right off center of the needle. Your zigzag stitch should be a 5 to 6 width and a 3 to 4 length. Begin to stitch, coiling the coil into the rope tail. Make sure that you catch both the rope tail and the coil with each stitch. This is the most tedious part of the project, but as the coil gets bigger, it will go much faster for you. If you have a down stitch button on your machine, this is the perfect project to use it on. To add a pop of color, place your bias strip down with the tail pointing downward. It makes it easier to fold, tuck, and twist around the rope tail. Secure it with a binder clip at the end. Continue to coil into the rope tail as you add the fabric strip to the bowl. The most important part at this point is to keep your fingers clear and keep the coil flat to your work surface. All your fabric strips do not need to be the same length. In fact, it helps to have varying lengths. Whenever you notice that a bowl starts to have too much rope in it, you simply need to add a little pop of color, and that small piece might be all you need. Once the base measures 5 to 6 inches, it's time to start turning up for the sides. Place your left hand under the coil disc as close to the presser foot as you can get it, and slightly raise the disc and begin stitching. After 2 to 3 rounds, you'll realize that the bowl is actually starting to turn upward. And at that point, you want to move the coil disc and hold it snug against the machine head for the remainder of the basket. You'll want to stitch about 3 to 4 inches up the sides. For the basket that I'm making, it works very well for a snack basket. So a 5 to 6 inch base, a 3 to 4 inch side, will give you approximately an 8-inch diameter at the top. For this bowl, I've decided to do a double stitched handle. When you decide to start the handle, simply double backstitch or double tack at the beginning of the handle, pull out a few inches for the handle as you like, and decide where you want the handle to rejoin the basket. Secure with a pin, place back under your presser foot, and bar tack or backstitch a few times to secure and give the handle strength. In this case, it's a double handle, so we stitch around the basket one more time. When we come to the handle beginning, we simply stitch the rope tail to the handle, just like you have been doing with the basket. Again, I double stitch, back stitch, or tack at the beginning and the end of the handle to give it strength. And there's your double stitched handle. I've decided to give this a little more flair and give a little coil wrap around that handle. I will take Scotch tape and wrap around my rope tail. I will then cut the tape in half. This will give me an end for this basket and the start for the next basket. There are many ways to finish a rope bowl. Don't be afraid to use your imagination. I've pulled off too much rope, so again I will secure the end of the rope tail with some more Scotch tape. I will cut it in half simply to leave a smaller portion at the end of my tail. And I'll simply pull that around to the back side and secure it with some hot glue. And there is our basket for today.